Hi everybody, Dennis DeLucia here with a very, very special guest. This is a man who Time magazine called the world's greatest classical marimbist. He's also a person that created a way to play the marimba that totally revolutionized what was possible to achieve on that instrument. And he is the legendary Leigh Howard Stevens. Leigh, welcome to WGI. And I wanted to ask you if you could possibly demonstrate the techniques that were used before you created the Stevens grip, and then show us what the difference is.
Okay. When I began playing back in the dark ages in the late 1960s, pretty much everybody played traditional cross-stick grip, that is with the outside stick underneath the inside. Gary Burton was just at that point introducing his Burton grip, which I switched to. So I started with cross-stick, then went to Burton grip about a year and a half later. A year and a half after that, my teacher-to-be, Vida Chenoweth, said that I had to learn Musser grip, and Musser grip was a way of holding the sticks flat-palmed, spreading very similar to traditional grip, spreading in here, but with the sticks not touching one another, and I didn't like that so much. So I'd already used traditional, already used Burton, already used Musser, and that's when I decided I was going to sort of strike out on my own and invent my own technique. So what I do now, and what apparently most of the people at WGI do, they call Stevens grip or Stevens technique, and it's a much more relaxed, hanging version of the Musser grip.
Now, your technique is known as the Stevens grip, but there's also a Stevens method of movement, isn't there?
Yeah, really surprising here at WGI. I'm hanging out at the Malatech booth and talking to the students. I'm really shocked. Not one person yet, not one of the students knows about my book, Method of Movement. It sort of blew me away that they're all using it, but they're not studying it out of the book.
Now, you also started and still own the Malatech company, and you've just created a whole new series of keyboard mallet instruments. What's different about them? What's new?
Well, of course, we have a whole line of snare drum sticks that Dennis was very instrumental in designing and bringing in some outside artists. And I worked for about 2 years with some of the front ensemble people, experts in the WGI and DCI world, to design a new line of sticks. We started out with a brand new yarn that's custom designed for this particular purpose. But I suppose the number one thing that's surprising about the line is that the very heaviest, biggest bass mallets weigh the same as the hardest sticks in the line. So you can mix and match and switch very quickly with no adjustment in technique. That's probably the number one feature that's very, very different, other than the durability factor.
Now, this is your first experience at WGI Championships, right?
Yes.
What are your impressions?
First of all, I'm just blown away at the number of players who are playing the marimba. You know, when I was in high school, we had a marimba, and that was only because we had a really great music program in the South Orange Maplewood school system where I was raised in New Jersey. And now I see these groups rolling out 6 marimbas, 6 vibes, xylophone, glockenspiel. It's mind-blowing how many players in these high schools actually play keyboard percussion instruments.
Yeah. So, that's it here from WGI World Championships. The great Leigh Howard Stevens. I'm Dennis DeLucia. Thanks for listening.